Hey guys, today's episode is all about the doors, and I'm not talking about the band, although these cars were around back then. 914 doors have a lot going on in them. Today I'll show you how I polished the 50-year-old glass, replaced the seals around the triangle windows, put the door handles in, installed the squeegee holder and fuzzies, the window mechanism, the tracks, the side glass, and the inner and outer seals. It's a lot. Time to break on through. As you can see, there are a lot of water spots etched into the glass, and these just won't come out with regular cleaning. So here's what I'm going to need to get the job done. I got the Griot's Garage fine glass polish made to kill water spots, as they say. I've never used it before, so we'll see. I've also got my Porter Cable random orbital polisher, so I'm going to put that on, and then this is a special glass polishing pad. It also comes from Griot's as part of the system. And of course, my glass. So I put a little swirl of this stuff on. And I'm gonna get started just on a number 2 setting. Just smush this around. Get it going. Yes, I know I'm gonna get it on the mat. Then I'll ramp it up. Make sure I get all the edges. Let's get some detailer. I know I'm mixing brands here, sacrilege, but that's what I gotta do. Wow, it's already looking cleaner. Oh, it's squeaking. Wow. That is amazingly clean. This stuff works. Very cool. I mean, some scratches here, but that's because the glass is nearly 50 years old. But it doesn't have water spots anymore, like a mirror. So we have the 914 rubber triangle window rubber here, and notice that there is a right and a left. I'm going to get this edge really clean because once it goes into the rubber, I won't be touching it again. Now it's easier to put this point of the glass into the seal first because there's this little rubber piece that helps seal the weather out, and then work your way around the back and put the back edge into the channel. This is the easy part. The other parts are a little harder. So this rubber has like a channel in it, and that channel sits in this channel here. So we're going to get it nice and lubed up and then slide it in. Got some water here. Just going to make it nice and lubey. So far so good, sliding in. The trick here is to make sure that the glass is firmly up against the seal as you're sliding in, otherwise the glass will just come out. We'll hit it with a little more lube in the middle here to keep it going, and we'll just continue to push until the glass finally hits home against that stop. Alright, now we just have to tighten the bolts on the stop down. And this is the triangle window trim. This goes on the top. You can also use it to gauge whether or not you're in the right spot with the glass. You can see that it's pretty good. It fits perfect. Screws come in a kit too. So you don't have to use the old rusty ones. Here's the front window channel fuzzy. There's the fuzzy part. And this goes in the channel. This is just kind of like pushes in. Now here's a trick to keep the glass in the channel while you're going through the installation process. Use some of this packing cellophane. what we're going to do is wrap it all the way around, and that will keep the glass in the channel while we're working. All right, time to go to the car. All right, so I put a little blue tape here to protect the paint a little as I do this delicate operation. It really is kind of like the game of Operation. And I'll slowly guide things in and get the seal lined up. Now make sure that you screw the adjuster bolt in and all the way in before you put it in the door, otherwise you'll not be able to get it into the whole thing here when you're done. Now this is even scarier, but it's what they did in the factory. Take a block of wood and pound the seal into the door. All right, to install the door handle, what I'm going to do is use new door handle gasket set from 914 Rubber. And that's basically the semicircle piece that goes around the handle, and this goes kind of before the nut that holds the handle in. I'm putting just a little bit of dum-dum, butyl, strip caulk, whatever you want to call it, to hold this piece in place. Then what we'll do is take the actual handle, which has the new actuator installed. You can see my other video on how to put the actuator in. These locks also have just been done by Curt Curtis. He does a bunch of 914 lock stuff. So he's keyed everything, my ignition, my doors, everything are all keyed to the same lock now. So there's a piece inside the door that gets a hex socket bolt, and there's another piece here which goes through the door, which just gets like a nylock nut. So we'll just thread this through. And sometimes that means lifting the handle a little bit so to get it in. And now it's in position. Then don't forget this other little piece of rubber that goes underneath this part. Once the door is put together, you won't be able to get at that, so make sure you put that on first. And we'll take this nylock nut. I'm not going to go too tight on it right now, just secure it so it doesn't move. If the glass is out like it is in this door, like the whole thing's disassembled, it's a lot easier to get this hex socket bolt up through the door handle. If the glass is in, it's not a big deal. It just means you have a little bit less space to work with. Now we'll put a number 5 tool in here, and then use the braille method to get it in and tighten the bolt. And then just tighten this one down. And now we'll check it, and yep, it seems to be working really well. I'm going to put the inside door mechanism in now because I think I have a little more room before we put the glass in. And here we have a really good condition door handle for passenger side. You know it's passenger side because the lock part sticks up and the handle part's on the bottom. Anyway, so what happens is this is the door actuating rod. And you'll see that there's like a little hole in there. So you put the rod in like that, and then this little clip slides forward up and over like that, so that it's locked in and it doesn't come undone. Now I'll take these rubber blocks from 914 Rubber, and they're meant to keep the rod standing off from the door. So we'll put them on the rod and slide them down. So what's going to happen is I'm going to slip this in here. Just kind of get this somewhat anchored so that I can work with it. Unfortunately, there's no way I can really get in here to show you what's going on, but there's a little hole that the rod goes through, and then you slip the clip over it just like that, and now it's in. I want to take this rubber piece, get it wedged in here so that the rod sits the way it's supposed to. Now I want to take this squeegee channel and fit that into the door here. First I'm going to check and make sure that the screws line up. The screw holes line up in here. Then I'm going to put the fuzzy in the channel, drill some holes through it, and then attach it into the door. Now you may need to adjust the squeegee tracks a bit. No two doors are identical, so it's likely you'll need to remove a little bit of metal or maybe drill a new hole or two. So here's the fuzzy, and it just kind of goes right into the track here, fits in, slides all the way, and then I have to drill holes through here so that it will fix to the door. Always nerve-wracking to put metal against a freshly painted door. But that's what you gotta do. Alright, that's the front one. Okay, I'll tighten these up. Alright, the squeegee track is in. And here we have the window mechanism itself. I mean, it's just maybe a tiny bit of surface rust, but it's in good shape. Now we'll slide the mechanism into the door from the bottom, and you will have to kind of navigate this a little bit. Get it in. Get the mechanism put here. Now it's time to go grab the door glass, and it is in even worse shape than the triangle. As I clean this glass, I can hear the grit in it. You hear it? It's got so much embedded gunk in it that I need to use the clay bar to pull stuff off before I hit it with the Griot's glass polish. And I'll just work on half the glass right now so I can see what the difference will be. And now the sound test. Remember before? It sounded like that. Now it sounds like this. Wow. So let's go along and you'll hear the change. All right, the glass is ready to go back into the car, and to get it in, you actually have to like bend the door open a little bit so that the nut from the bottom of the track here fits into the slot. You really have to push, but it will go through. Now here's the rear channel, and I've got a new fuzzy from 914 rubber that I'm gonna just press in, and they give you a lot extra, so I'm gonna cut that off. And I also have to drill a hole in the back here, which is gonna go into the door. And here's where the rear channel attaches, and obviously we just want to kind of get it in the ballpark. Don't even really need to screw it in right now. Just keep everything loose. Okay, so now I've wriggled the glass to the point where it's sitting in that channel, in the back channel there. Now what I got to do is get this roller into the track there, like so, and then move the mechanism so I can get some holes aligned here. Just so it's not moving anywhere. Now I have to make sure that this roller is on this track here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's coming in. Now I'll secure this freestanding track here and also put the remaining bolts for the window mechanism in. All right, now I'll attempt to raise the glass. I'm gonna get it up to about that high so I can get this block in. That's really the main lifting block. All right. Now this is loosely in, so you can see that the window is going up and down pretty good. So I still have to do the adjustments. So these bolts control the tilt fore and aft of the window. The back track adjusters control this direction on the back side of the glass. So this weird bolt in here is how you control the tilt of the vent window, the fake vent window. The more you unscrew this and push the window away, the bottom, the more the window tilts towards the car. You see there's like a washer that leverages it against the door, and there's like a slot on the bolt so you can just turn it like a screwdriver and adjust the side-to-side position. My window is tilted out just a little bit too much this way, so I'm going to push that bolt in and bring it in. I'll definitely be doing more fine adjustments, and don't forget to put the securing nut on this once everything is set. Going counterclockwise now to push the bolt away from that washer. All right, let's see how we are now. All right, that's looking pretty good. Can maybe go a tiny bit more, but I'll do some fine tuning once everything is in the interior and once the Targa seal is on too, because there may still be some adjustment that I need to do here to lift it up. All right, so the moment of truth. There it is. And notice also there's a stop there to make sure that the glass doesn't hyperextend. I'll bring it down. And we're good. You know, also there's the screw here for the back track. I'm gonna tighten in here. And then there's a cap that goes here, which unfortunately I don't have at the moment. Another call to 914 rubber. Now, this is the fuzzy that goes on this piece, the inside fuzzy. That's just kind of like a wind lace material. It pinches onto the steel of the car. There's no adhesive or anything. All right, two more things that are needed to finish the door installation. The seals. There's an inner door seal and also an outer door seal. All right, so for the inner, it's kind of like a wind lace material that has, you know, like a metal insert that pinches along the weld here. The rubber obviously goes to the outside, and it starts right at the point where the B-pillar goes. And then we just kind of press it in as we go. Now I'm actually doing this out of order because technically the sill plate should be down here because it goes underneath here and then the wind lace comes up. But since we're doing the doors, just wanted to show all the components of it now. And a few gentle taps to make sure that the seal is seated. And here's the finished installation of the inner door seal. It really adds a nice finished look to the door. And I don't even have any of the other trim pieces on yet. It's already looking great. So now let's move on to the outer door seal. Now if you look closely at the door, there's a channel that goes all the way around. And that's where we're going to be putting this seal. Fortunately, with a black car, every little speck of dust makes it look dirty. But so here's the profile of the outer door seal, and this little tail is supposed to go up and towards the car, towards the body of the car. So now what I'm gonna do is clean this, and then use some 3M weather strip adhesive, just a little bit of it, to keep it in the channel here. But it holds pretty well just the way it is. I'm wearing gloves here because this stuff is really hard to get off your hands. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom of the weather strip here, and I'll do the same thing in the car. Let it get tacky, and then we'll put it in. And now I'm just going to press it into the channel. There are times when you may have to take a screwdriver and help it in, but for the most part, it fits really well. You can see that it's like a little out. Press it in with the screwdriver. Now under the door here, you can see that needs to be pressed in. And this turn right near the hinge is really the only spot where the adhesive is the thing that mostly holds it in. Otherwise, the channel does a pretty good job. But make sure there's decent adhesive on this little jog. Now I'll just finish around the door, and then I'll close the door so that it's got some pressure as it cures. And that's it. Please check out all the other episodes in this build series and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/IanKarr. I've got exclusive content up there. We do Zoom calls from the garage every month, and you might even get a sweet hat. Thanks as always to 914 Rubber for providing so many great parts for this build. Thanks a lot for watching. Be safe and enjoy.